people sell cell phones in prison, and they also sell hiding spots. So if this hiding spot that's in the bathroom here hasn't been discovered yet, then it's a item that's for sale. You know, that might be 50, $100. It's time to get into secrets about how inmates really think. Orange is the New Black is one of the best shows about low and minimum security prison. There's a lot of realism in here and a lot of stuff that's just movie magic, so we'll talk about both as we go through the show together. I was a commercial pilot and I flew marijuana around the country in a private airplane. I was convicted in the biggest drug conspiracy in Washington state history, and I did time in prisons just like this. Orange is the New Black brings back vivid memories. There's secret nuggets tucked away in every scene. Unless you've spent years in prison, you're gonna miss a lot of the best stuff in this show. Stick around to the end of the show and I'm gonna rate this episode on prison realism. Also, leave any comments asking why or what prisoners were thinking when they did things. First, let's set the scene. Watson is coming back from solitary confinement and she finds out that Piper is the reason that she actually went to solitary confinement. And then also, Piper takes the cell phone that's in the bathroom stall and gives it to the officers. Basically becomes an informant. So we're gonna see how this all plays out. She's coming back from solitary. So she's been in the hole for, 5 episodes now or whatever, 3 episodes. Bit dramatic.
You know those good mashed potatoes that Red makes from the real potatoes, and I thought about getting some of that served up tonight. You a girl?
But she works up the menus a week in advance.
Think about what I've been through.
She went to solitary confinement and honestly, it's not that big a deal. People who come back from solitary confinement and are complaining, not a lot goes for them. Solitary confinement sucks, but you got to get over it. All of prison sucks. Yeah, that's how it feels getting out anytime.
Hey, get over here. You're missing a moment. She must really suck ass.
Oh man, she was in there for 2 weeks. I've taken shits longer than that.
That's true. So here's exactly what she went through during that 2 weeks, kind of an idea of what happens in solitary confinement. You can judge for yourself. She's probably not overreacting for a lot of people. When you're in a prison situation, big emotional reactions like this, people always think you're overdoing it. So this is showing the emotion well. Basically, in solitary confinement, you're in like a 6x8 cell. It's not long. You can reach and almost touch the walls. It's just past that. There is a metal toilet, a bed, probably just a concrete slab with a pad on it, a small window so you get some light in there, and a sink that just dribbles water out of it. And your time is spent figuring out a way to do your time. You're either reading, doing push-ups, or taking walks. My time was broken up. Most of it was reading. I would read for an hour or 2 hours until I got restless, until my legs needed to move. Then I'd stand up and I would do air squats, and then I would do push-ups, and then I would take a walk. So taking a walk, you take some powdered coffee, you put it in the cup, you mix it with water. You're probably not going to have hot water. You drink some powdered coffee, and then you just take 3 steps one direction, you turn around and take 3 steps the other direction, turn around and take 3 steps the other direction. You can take a 45-minute, hour-long walk, and you just pace and think, and then back to reading. And that's really what it comes down to. If you can get in the zone and get control of your mind, then solitary confinement for 2 weeks or a month is not really that bad. If you don't have control of your mind and you don't get rigorous and look at it as some sort of opportunity to expand yourself mentally, then it can be brutal. People get crazy in there. And my month in solitary confinement is peanuts compared to the time that people do in solitary confinement. People do years, unfortunately, in solitary confinement. People do months on end. That is brutal. I can't speak on that at all. I can speak on 2 weeks. Tell you it's totally manageable.
Good morning. Welcome.
Hey.
Ladies of the whack.
Are you taking us to prom or something?
Just close the door, please. Thank you.
This looks like an RDAP meeting. This type of meeting actually could happen because you have representatives from each different part of the prison. They all can all be in there together and report back what the other ones said so that there's no suspect stuff going on. So this actually could happen within the framework of prison politics.
Small token of my esteem.
Hey, Healy, that's proper.
Hey, you talk about this outside, you never see bear claws again.
Silencio, Mr. Healy. We're gonna be like Red's lady. What's her name?
Yeah, this also would happen. You can get good food. Sometimes the cops will bring back a Big Mac or something crazy like that. This can definitely happen in a prison camp. It's less likely in a low because there's so much higher security and fences. One time we were doing some work for a crew and they brought us taqueria burritos. Amazing. If you haven't had decent, high quality outside food for a few years, it's amazing how good something like that can taste. So this happens and people do keep their mouths shut because you want it to happen again. You don't want to sell out that guard who brought you good food.
All right, now, business. I.e., if you will, the concerns of your fellow inmates.
Mr. Healy, the pillow that we get for sleeping is thin like paper. Sometimes yo necesito 2 pillows for ergonomics.
Second pillow.
Write it down.
Okay, first of all, the hot sauce in the commissary is bullshit. We want that Thailand sauce, the one with the rooster on it.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay, so sriracha is like gold. Everyone has sriracha in prison. Part of the reason is sriracha has such a powerful flavor that you can put it on anything and kind of make it taste decent. So that sriracha is going on chicken, beef, pork, macaroni and cheese. It's going on pizza. It's going on everything. Everything is flavored with sriracha in prison. And also you see her asking for a change of a commissary item here. That's also something that is done fairly often as inmates keep requesting certain specific commissary items. Maybe they want to change the hot sauce from Tapatio to something else. That happens as well.
We can't get 50 Shades of Grey in the library.
We talked about this, Jefferson. The Fed's not going to subsidize erotica.
That's also kind of random, the books that they end up blocking in prison. They end up blocking books, maybe stories of escape or some weird ones like The Art of War because, it's got violence in it or strategy.
Chapman.
You're done? Clinic hours. And reopening the track. And maybe legal counseling. And the GED program. Now, I understand that there's a mold situation in the classroom, but this needs to be addressed. The inmates down the hill, they get classes, and they are not getting out anytime soon. We are here for shorter stays. We should be learning to improve ourselves.
There's a constant push in camps for more educational services. So more books, more DVDs, more classes, courses, teachers, more structure around things that people can learn and get credentials for. And unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. There's not very much you can do. You really have to apply yourself, go out, request courses and things like that through snail mail, and it takes a lot of legwork and most people just don't do it. I can tell you right now that Piper requesting these educational things makes a lot of sense on its surface, but the prison is just going to shoot it down because they're going to just look at, oh, that's a lot of paperwork, that's a lot of programs, that's a lot of work that we don't have to do, and sounds annoying.
Good. Got a good list going here, some good ideas. Now the problem, as I see it, is that we have a budget situation. Now, I can do my best, but it's going to be hard for me to do all these things and still be able to bring donuts to our meetings every month. And coffee.
Well, we tried.
Piper's realizing that this is just a setup for him to manipulate the prison through the inmates.
We finally get an opportunity to make some improvements around here.
I got a disciplinary board hearing this week, which if they don't take away my good time, I go home. Healy said he would write a letter vouching for me. I ain't looking to make waves. Glassy water, smooth sailing, right on out of here.
So this whole whack thing is basically bullshit.
Just take the donuts, girl.
Yeah. Well, that's actually really good advice. She's going home. She's trying to lay low. And this is how most programs in prison are. They are just kind of diversions. They're just kind of wastes of time. They just are kind of spinning the wheels to keep people busy, but nothing's really happening. And Chapman's going to find that out. You're not going to go into prison and make some structural changes. You know, you're not going to change the system for the better through your inmate status. And this is something that people, especially white-collar criminals, come in, you know, like CEOs. Oh, we should do this and this and this. And they're talking to the CEO, you know, the officers and things like that, and trying to, you know, get more resources and more education. And, you know, these guys are sharp, the guys I'm talking about, and could do this on the outside, and they think that their weight is going to transfer the inside, and it just doesn't work that way. Nothing's happening. The only thing that's happening is whatever gets handed down from the national level Bureau of Prisons. It kind of trickles down. Some stuff will kind of happen, but just enough to tick the boxes, not enough to make any real change. So if Piper really wants to change stuff, she's in for a rude awakening. That's not how it works.
Can you believe her? That college bitch thinks she could come up in here and take charge of shit with her nice teeth and her pinky stuck up in the air. She's kind of surprised on me.
So this is another example of why you don't want to like make changes and be someone who's sticking out or trying to, you know, even if you're trying to help, there is, not only are you not going to get anywhere with the prison system, but also people are going to gossip about you. You're going to be the topic of conversation. There's not much to do, so people gossip about current events. And so not only is Chapman not going to get anything done, she's also going to, you know, get a lot of people looking at her sideways, which, you know, take it or leave it, but it's easier to do your time if you're not making everyone mad at you around you. Also, you see the laundry room right here. The inmates will put their clothes in a mesh bag. You can see her holding a mesh bag right there. And those mesh bags just get thrown in washers and then dryers, and then the bag gets returned to you. Your laundry never leaves the bag. So some prison camps or lows even will have washing machines in the units, and people do their own laundry or pay another inmate to do it directly. So Piper's gone back to this cell phone that's hidden. This is someone else's cell phone. This is someone else's hiding spot. This is not something that would be cool happening in prison. People would be furious about this. They would also probably notice if you went into the bathroom stall with their phone, because people are watching that stall to make sure it's safe. And if you stayed in there for a while, someone would probably peek in and make sure that you're not on their cell phone. People sell cell phones in prison, and they also sell hiding spots. So if this hiding spot that's in the bathroom here hasn't been discovered yet, then it's a item that's for sale. You know, that might be $50, $100. You can buy that hiding spot for yourself with a cell phone in it. But you know, you're not going to go around blowing up other people's spot and using their cell phone and using their hiding spot. That's basically like theft. It is kind of outrageously exciting, though, to use a cell phone in prison when you haven't used technology for years. You know, I wouldn't know, but just throwing that out there.
Where's my Mexican vanilla?
Oh. Everything off the books lives like Anne Frank now.
The chefs always have secret ingredients and contraband ingredients. They're either selling them on the side or using them to cook their own meals.
Seems like a lot of trouble.
You get too comfortable. People take advantage.
It was you. What? The screwdriver what? Acting all sweet like a piece of candy? Nobody's sweet in here except for a reason. What you're talking? Do not fucking lie to me, bitch.
It looks like she figured out that Piper was the one who messed up the screwdriver thing and got her thrown in the hole. This actually brings up a really good story that demonstrates prison politics around going to the shoe and how that looks. essentially, if you go to the SHU for something and you know whose fault it is, you're not still allowed to tell from the SHU. You can't tell in solitary confinement and get yourself out because that's against prison rules. Let me give you an example. We're all standing around in the dorm. There's a shakedown. The cops run in from all sides, tell everyone to freeze. And, this guy's holding a cell phone near me, and he throws the cell phone. Now, it's debatable if he was aiming or not, but basically this cell phone went in his neighbor's shoe. In his tennis shoe. And so the shakedown happens. The neighbor gets caught with a cell phone in his tennis shoe and gets taken directly to the SHU, to solitary confinement. So now what happens is everyone knows that this guy is in solitary confinement for someone else's cell phone, and it was one of the paisas, and basically the paisas got together. They put pressure on the owner of the cell phone. They said, hey man, like, this is your bad. You threw it in that dude's shoe. He's doing time now in solitary. You have to go turn yourself in. This guy went in, turned himself in, took a cell phone charge to get the guy out of solitary confinement. Now that plays out differently sometimes. Sometimes people just say, you know what, it's a cutthroat game and like tough times, I'm not telling on myself. A lot of people will never tell on themselves and never speak to the cops no matter what. But there's also situations where with pressures of the group, people will turn themselves in, or just out of the just because they know it's the right thing to do, they will turn themselves in to get someone who was falsely put in the SHU. Chapman probably couldn't have turned herself in because I don't think she went to the SHU specifically for the screwdriver, but still, this is a sticky situation here.
In my defense, I would just like to point out that technically you did not go down because of the screwdriver. Technically you went down to SHU because you got all up in Caputo's face.
Lady, we in a tight ass space and I bet you 140. You sure technically how you want to handle this shit?
Not the time for excuses, Piper.
Are you gonna say anything?
I ain't a snitch.
Huh?
Why you in here, yo? Did you kill someone? You fucked a kid?
That's like one of the no-nos is in prison is anything to do with kids or women or some sort of abusing them. That's like kind of the that'll get you the black label in prison. So that's some sketchy stuff.
You kill a kid.
It was unexpected. I actually like Watson because she really represents, I mean, she does a good job. This is what prison is like. Like, people are good human beings, but they're like going through so much drama that they're kind of angry and there's not really outlet for it. So, they're doing crazy workouts and things, like trying to figure out how to get through it. And Watson's a good representation of that. As well, this other Namaste lady is another great prison character because there are these people who are so calm and spiritual, etc. in prison, but that there's something dark under there that they're just doing a really good job of covering up. And so both these characters are so deep and so right on as far as the prison experience goes.
That's what I thought.
What can I do for you?
The track. How much money does this institution spend on healthcare per year? Walking for a half an hour a day. If you could save money on medical expenses with something as simple as walking, why wouldn't you? I mean, in the long term.
No one here gives a crap about the long term, Chapman.
No preparation. I was just going to say that. I was at a prison where they closed the track. It was brutal. They would give us 1 hour per day. They'd open it, then everyone would rush to work out and do their thing. It would be packed. It was a nightmare. They don't close the track for any reason besides to punish the inmates. So the idea of speaking logic here, Piper doesn't get it.
Let's say an inmate is hiding a camera or a cell phone or something, and you find it for me. I'll take a look at opening that track.
Chapman's becoming my least favorite character quickly. Is she really pulling this right now?
Have you seen my teeth? Like, really? But my cousin, she's doing 15 over at Lexington, and she got a whole new set.
I'm not sure the circumstances to get a whole new set of teeth in prison, but they do dental work, but it's essentially just emergency dental work. So I got my wisdom tooth pulled in prison. That was actually kind of brutal. I went in, it had been bothering me forever, and one day it just like flared up. It was huge, and I had to go to sick call. And I go in there, and I tell the dentist, hey, like, you know, this wisdom tooth is killing me. He goes, you want it out? I go, yeah. Takes me right then, lays me on the thing. He's like, you ready? I'm like, I expected like an appointment like 10 days out, you know, like in the real world or something. Lays me right there, boom, shoots a shot in it, rips this thing out. You know, it's a serious pull getting your wisdom tooth out, and then you don't get any painkillers. So like once that medication wears off, it's game over. You know, you can have a 2 Advil is what they gave me, and they also sent me straight back to work from the dentist chair. I was like, hey, could I get like a pass to go back to my bunk or something? He's like, oh, you don't need it. Just tell your boss that you're gonna take it light. I'm like, no, I want to go to my bed. Nope. So anyway, you can get emergency dental work. It's possible she'll get a new grill, but only if like there's some severe pain or something going on. Most of the time what they do is they just yank teeth and leave people with gums.
They're gonna treat you nice, and they're gonna use you. And when you're all used up, you ain't gonna be nothing.
Knock it off, Pennsatucky.
She's right on though.
You selling us out? For what?
Pennsatucky's on it. Chapman needs to get like with the program and get on the side of the inmates as soon as possible. She's making poor decisions.
Everything's been deleted off this phone except for these photos.
I know. People, right?
Well, where was it?
Trash can.
Where?
I don't know. I just found it.
You know, I appreciate the fact.
This isn't how this works. Chapman is very naive when it comes to this, which is surprising because this seems really straightforward. But the prison doesn't care about having the actual cell phone. They don't care about getting the cell phone out of circulation. They want someone they can pin it on, someone they can charge the cell phone with so that they look good in paperwork and they can say, look what we're doing. They want to be able to put that person into solitary confinement, and then they want to be able to question them so that they can uncover more dirt around the prison. Maybe they will lessen that person's solitary confinement sentence if they snitch on someone else. Maybe that person knows where some drug is or know where the cell phone came in from. It does not end at the cell phone. That's basically a non-issue. They don't care about having the cell phone. They care about getting people in trouble. And Chapman is taking herself down a really stupid road here, which is pointless.
I don't want to snitch on anyone. The way these inmates treat snitches, it's ugly. But if you can't tell me who owns this phone, I'm afraid I can't help you with the track.
That is not what you said to me. You said specifically...
I'm sorry. I don't know.
That's the other thing that Chapman doesn't understand is that these promises don't matter. They are completely, there's nothing backing these promises up besides a little bit of possible goodwill, but that all goes out the window when there's something actually on the line.
Heard. But unless I have a name...
Enjoy the phone.
You know, I lived in Red Hook for a while after college.
Oh, I used to bag groceries at Fairway.
No way!
Oh my God, I remember you. Who'd have thunk we'd end up here, huh?
Anyway, I just want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, you and me are the same.
Pardon?
The only difference between us is when I made bad decisions in life, I didn't get caught. It could have been me here in khaki easy.
Man, if I had a couple commissary tunas for every time an officer said this to me, I'm not sure what it is. I guess it's just a way to identify as humans. Like, you know, we're the same. I could have been there too. And it's true, but as an inmate, it always sounds so corny to hear an officer say, oh, you know, I'm just like you. I've done bad things. I could be here. It's like, well, I just never know how to respond to that. It's just kind of like, okay.
Thank you for saying that. You know, it's really nice to know that there's somebody on our side.
No.
You know what would really help to boost morale around here?
I saw that bitch headed on over to Healy's office, looking guilty as fuck.
See, that's the thing about going into Healy's office all the time is people always notice. And here's what would happen in real life at a prison. That cell phone would be discovered. The person who was missing it would know that it was taken. The officers, they would know that the officers have their cell phone, and they would know basically that someone gave their cell phone to the cops. And then this girl saw Piper go into Healy's office looking guilty. The gossip factory would put those details together instantly, and everyone would be blaming Piper for giving up the cell phone. It would be drama. So we'll see if that plays out or not, but in real prison, Piper would be found out instantly for doing what she did. What this brings to mind is just like what a mistake that Piper made, because it's not just about like whether she's a snitch or whether what's happening. It's just the idea of getting in other people's business. You're all going through kind of this ordeal of being in prison together, and when you betray someone, that you're on the side of the inmates, and the sooner that inmates realize that they're on the side of the inmates, that that's their team, the better off they are, because you have to team up. You can't play both sides and be mentally healthy, in my opinion. That's not saying you have to like hate cops or be against the officers, but you definitely have to have like love first for inmates. And it's sad because everyone's going through this together, and then you're putting someone through more pain because you can't handle your stuff, and that's just bad move by Piper on like a spiritual level and a real like practical level.
Flores.
Man, that was the only place in this prison I could take a shit.
Watson has a background as a track star, so she's pumped that the track is opened back up. And actually, how the track opened back up was Piper talked to an officer that she built a relationship with and had them go kind of from the inside and pull some strings. That is the way that you get things done in prison. So, I ranted against her being able to change anything. Going at it like in a logical way isn't the way to get things done in prison. But building relationships and leveraging those relationships to get things done, that's how the whole prison system operates. So Piper actually pulled a good move here. So let's look at grading this show. You're probably going to be surprised by my grade. We've got the track closure and then it being opened back up. We've got Piper essentially becoming an informant and giving the cell phone over to the cops, and they want more. Those things are both right on kind of how that would happen. Then you also have Watson and her experiences and how she's handling prison. This is very realistic. This, my friends, is going to be the first A that I give any of the episodes, because there wasn't anything that was just blatantly movie magic here. There was a lot of prison dynamics that they captured well, and so we're going to give it our first A. So what'd you think of my grade? Let me know in the comments, and let me know anything else that you'd like to see. If you'd like to see more Prisoner React videos, you can check out the playlist here. If you're actually going to federal prison, I made a step-by-step guide to how to survive prison. That's what most of this is for, so check that out here. Until next time, this is federalprisoninsider.com.